Today's quick tip video will discuss the process to request housing accommodations through the Office of Disability Services. Housing accommodations are for students with documented disabilities that may need accommodations to allow for equal access to the residential experience. Housing accommodations must be requested each year you plan to live on campus. To make a request, you must fill out the Housing Accommodation Request Form by January 15th. If you are requesting the same accommodations you have been approved for previously, you will not need to submit documentation. However, if you're requesting accommodations for the first time, or if you're requesting new accommodations, you should also upload documentation from a provider that supports the need for the request. Documentation guidelines can be found on the Office of Disability Services Student Resource website and navigating to the Documentation Guidelines link on the right-hand bar. Share the Disability Verification Form for housing accommodation requests with your provider and submit the completed form with your request. To get started with your request, navigate back to the Student Resources webpage and scroll to the section on housing accommodations. The very first link in this section is the Housing Accommodation Request Form. Click on the hyperlink text to begin. Log into the page using your WPI username and password. Begin entering your information to submit your request. On the bottom of the second page of the form, you will be given an opportunity to upload a file. Again, if you are requesting the same accommodations you have previously been approved for, you may skip this step. If you are requesting accommodations for the first time or requesting new accommodations, please include supporting documentation here. Once you finish and certify the form by entering your initials, click Submit. You will receive a confirmation that the process is complete and your information submitted. Once the deadline has passed, the Housing Accommodation Review Committee will meet to review the requests. The Review Committee includes members from Residential Services, Health Services, the Student Development and Counseling Center, Dining Services, and the Office of Disability Services. The Office of Disability Services will then notify students of their approved accommodations. Subsequently, Residential Services will notify students of the specific placement and whether they can pull in other roommates into the placement location. Students will then be asked to accept or deny the placement offer before the start of the general housing selection process. Though we will always accept and consider housing accommodation requests that are submitted after the deadline will be based on availability of spaces. If you are approved after the deadline and a space is not available, you will be placed on a waitlist should a space that meets your accommodation need becomes available. Don't forget, you will also need to submit the general housing application through StarRes at www.housing.wpi.edu. Need more help? Contact the Office of Disability Services to schedule an appointment with a staff member.